Hey, are you tired of seeing your grocery bills skyrocket? There's a lot of people in the same situation, but don't worry, I got you covered. Let's talk about tips to beat food cost. Hey, I'm Todd Sepulveda with Ready Your Future, and this is another article in the 25 handpicked preparedness articles that everyone should read. So this one's coming to us from hillbillyhousewife.com, and she's got a great article over there, and it's one that I believe everyone should read and everyone should look at. So I'm going to bounce off of this one to talk a little bit about food costs, rising food costs, and how to beat those. And so let's just go ahead and jump in and go right to the first one. The first one is go meatless. This is hard for me. This is hard for a lot of people, especially here in the United States, because meat is one of those things that everyone feels that they should have. And one of the things that she says here is one of the great ideas is use meat as a condiment, right? A smaller portion than you normally would have. But then you can also do things like, and she doesn't mention this here, but you can also do things like noodles and spaghetti and things like that that don't have meat. You don't have to use meat, but you can. It's a great meal and it's very filling. So go meatless. That's really hard to do. Something maybe instead of going meatless, for every single one, you go like 2 or 3 meals out of the week. You decide to do that, and then of course you're always looking for sales and stuff like that. All right, so going to tip number 2 is just whip up a frugal meal. Now, a lot of us in preparedness understand this. One of the things that we store long term is beans and rice, and those are cheap meals when you eat off of that. But look at those meals that are just really frugal to whip up. Have a list of those. So during the lockdowns, I kind of put it out there to the preparedness community to make a cookbook. And so hey, send in your best recipes for easy to make meals. And so I put together a free download, the free download bug-in recipe cookbook. And these are easy meals that anyone could make. And so I'll have that link for you if you're interested in it to go check that out in the description, and you can download that. And there's 45 recipes in there, and so you can just things that people have shared from the preparedness community. And so that might be helpful because there are some really great frugal meals in there. But think about the frugal meals that you've made, the things that are really cheap. Search for some on YouTube. They're when you search for depression meals, you can find some really frugal meals, and you can stretch those and stretch your dollar a little bit more. Tip number 3 is don't waste it. Use up the leftovers. The example that she gives in this article is that she talked about making chili. And so they made chili, they ate it for lunch, they made it for dinner, and then the leftover meal was, or the leftover chili was, would have been enough for one person for one meal. But instead of just saving one bowl for one person, she wound up making for the next meal baked potatoes. So she makes 3 baked potatoes, she put some butter in there, but then she used that chili in there to make a stuffed baked potato, right? Where you have some meat in there, and it really worked out. So instead of having a meal for just one person, she was able to stretch it for 3 people, and so that's just one of those ways to use it up. Don't waste it. Another tip, now that's not included here, but if you have vegetables and things like that, you might have pieces of vegetables that you might not use in a recipe, but you don't want to throw them away either. Put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer. And when you build up on that, we'll use that in another tip here in just a minute. So that's another thing. Don't throw away those pieces that you have here and there. And so that suggestion is going to come in this next tip, which is tip number 4, is to have soups. Soups are good for the wallet. And it's very true. Soups can be very filling. You can make them go a long ways. And one of the easy things that you can do is you can use extra vegetable pieces that you weren't able to use in other meals that you have saved up, and you kind of throw those in there. But soup is a great way to make your meals stretch out. And so in that first tip when we talked about going meatless, And we said, okay, maybe you don't go meatless every single night of the week. So maybe you use chicken and you get a whole chicken and you use the chicken in different meals. So one of those is like you have the chicken bones and you're able to make chicken stock out of that. And so you can use that as your base for your soups. But if you're really trying to save money and you're really trying to cut costs, soups is a really good way to go. So learning how to make those the base soup, and then being able to add all the different other ingredients makes it very versatile. Number 5 is one that every prepper would love, is to grow some food, right? That's the one that we always talk about on a regular basis, is grow some food. If you have a yard right now and you are capable, growing food is just a really smart idea. With a little bit of investment, that can pay off, for years and years to come. Even if you can't afford like a big garden right now, doing a little bit of container gardening will get you into it. And something as simple as tomatoes, right? Having tomatoes available on a regular basis, fresh tomatoes, you might not ever go back on that. So try growing food. Maybe you have a parent, maybe you have a family member who does have a backyard, and you'll let them trade them out. Say, hey, if you'll let me build a garden back here in your backyard, I'll take care of it. I'll water. I'm using your water and the sprinklers and all that kind of stuff. You can put it on just a sprinkler system, but I'll give you some of the fruits and vegetables if you let me grow it in your backyard. So that might be one of the reasons or one of the ways that you can do that. Number 6 is do breakfast for dinner. Making breakfast is a lot cheaper than making a big dinner like we're used to here in the United States. So making pancakes is, if you even buying the pre-mixed stuff, where you're just adding water, you can get those on sale for really, really cheap. And a little bit of syrup, and so you have pancakes for dinner. If the cost of eggs right now are going down, so doing eggs, a little bit of toast, and having that, you can stretch the bacon there. You don't have to have 3 strips of bacon. Maybe you have some bacon and you cut it up and you throw that into the eggs. So you would have bacon and eggs and pancakes, and that would you can really stretch that. Stretching omelets, again, you can use vegetables that you have left over to make it go a lot further. So that's tip number 6, do breakfast for dinner. Number 7, this is one that she said, she was looking at the cost, and 95%, we cut out 95% of the snacks that she was buying, she said here in this article. And so doing that can save a lot of money. So it's very convenient to have snacks where you can just go and grab 1 or 2 things here, but they can be very, very expensive, and it can add up a lot. And so one of those things is, think about the snacks, think about the sweet stuff that you bring in. It's you might have that sweet tooth, you might want to grow that sweet tooth, you might want to have that snack. But if you don't have it, you just don't have it, and you go to something else, right? You might grab a piece of fruit, you might grab something else, but that would save you a lot of money there by going there. And we know right now with inflation, those packages are getting smaller, and they're costing more. So stop the snacks. That might be, or snack on something that you just make at home. That would be a great cost savings there. Number 8, skip the convenience foods. Make things from scratch. Listen, we're busy. We've got jobs. We've got after school activities and all the different things that we do. And so it's very convenient to be able to go and grab something that's already pre-made, definitely. But if you're trying to save money, if you can pre-plan and you can make things ahead of time, if you can make things from scratch, and once you get the hang of it, things can go a lot faster. But making things from scratch is going to save you a whole lot of money, because you can buy things in bulk, and then you can go ahead and put those away as you need them and bring them out as you need them, and you can save a lot of money there. There is a link here on this one here that I thought was really great, because she links basically to a lot of other recipes. And so the page is called Homemade Convenience Foods, and she links to like beverage mixes, beverage, breakfast foods, baking, sauces and condiments, dairy products, sandwich spreads and soups, like corn dogs and side dishes and main dishes, and all these different things. And basically, it is a menu of all these items and their recipes that you can go and you can click on. So she's made it very easy for you. You definitely want to go check out that link when you go to this article. Number 9 is buy local and seasonal. We're very spoiled here in the United States because you can go to the grocery store and you can find anything that that you want, right? Any vegetable, any fruit usually that you want, even when it's not in season. And that's not normal. We're able to do that because of our just-in-time system, and we're able to import things from all over the world. But really, you want to buy local and seasonal if you can. So going to a farmer's market, getting to know the people around you that are producers, you're always going to get better quality fruits and vegetables, and then you're also going to be able to buy during the season when they're grown, and they're always going to taste a lot better. So you can get strawberries in the winter, right? But they're not going to taste really, really good. But if you get strawberries from someone who grows them locally in a farmer's market, they're going to be great. And so there's always cheaper when you're able to do that. So find those farmers markets. They're popping up all over the place. I know just like 7-8 years ago in my area, it was very hard. I had to travel to go find them. Now they announce them all the time on Saturdays, and there's places where everybody gets together, and it's really a great deal. So you just got to search a little bit, and you can find some really great farmers markets and places where you can buy locally. The last one is just shop around, and I like this idea, is keep a price book. So I know that my mom used to do this back in the day, where she would write down where different prices were at different places. And so sometimes when we go to the grocery store and we would go to this one and this one and that one, we make a couple of different stops. Some people would say when you do that, you're wasting more money by running around, with gas and all that kind of stuff. And that might be true. You need to weigh that when you do that. But if you know where you're going and you know what you need and you have a menu set aside, then you can fold those runs to the grocery stores when you're out doing other shopping or your other errands, and so you can kind of roll that all into play. Also, there's know where the deals usually are. You might want to subscribe through email to your local grocery stores, and they will let you know when the deals are popping up in their grocery store, and you can go and you can buy in bulk, or you can stock up at those times. Sometimes even getting the store app will get you a lot of deals that you don't normally get if you just go to the grocery store. But know where those grocery stores, where the better prices are. A lot of people will say, like, Aldi's is really good at, if you have an Aldi's close to you, it's really good on canned goods. You go to other places, like, hey, they might be better on vegetables. Other places might have better prices on meat. And so just know where those prices are and take advantage of them. Again, go when don't do all your shopping all at one time. Go when you can, when you're running those errands, and make an extra trip, right? When you're going out and doing the errands, you're going to Home Depot, like, hey, I'm going to pass by this one specific grocery store. I'm going to go ahead and stock up on whatever I need to stock up here because I have my menu and I know exactly what I need. So again, guys, I'm going to go ahead and link to this article. I think you need to go check it out. It's a great website, has a lot of great information here. This article, like I said, is one that I think everyone should read. The 25 preparedness articles that everyone should read. If you're interested in the other ones, then I'm going to have a link for you that you can go ahead and click on, and you can subscribe to get that PDF. I want to also, since we're talking about food, I also want to talk about the food storage plan checklist. I have this available on my website. It's a link there. You can go and you can sign up, and it's a checklist to think about your food storage. And it also will provide a link to a video where I'll talk about food storage and things I just go into a little bit deeper detail on that. And so you can't just find that on YouTube or anywhere. That's just a special video for those that download that checklist. Well, everyone, that is it for this episode. Like I said, I'm going to have some great links for you in the description. Go check those out. Go check out hillbillyhousewife.com, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless.